Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Am I the person I think I am? With a show of hands, raise your hand if you think you are a good person. Most people are going to raise their hand, and the reason why I have this question is because I was taking philosophy class when I first started college. And one of the first questions that we were asked to discuss with our peers was, are you a good person or are you a bad person? Can you guess how many people said that they were a bad person? One. It was me. But I said it because I knew everybody else was going to say, oh, I'm such a great person, I do all these amazing things for other people, yada, yada, yada. I'm just like, yeah, I hold the door for people. I'm nice, I guess. But what about the sound of your soul? Like Carson Schaefer said, music is the sound of your soul. Well, I'm self-aware that when I play the guitar, it doesn't sound very good. I guess my soul isn't that great. And what about divorce or people when they get out of relationships? What do they always say? Oh, that person was crazy. They're doing all these crazy things. They're out of their mind. It's like, you realize they're saying the same thing about you, right? And prison. When people go to prison, or if you went to a prison and talk to the prisoners, most of them will say, oh, I was just caught in a bad situation. Oh, like I wouldn't have done this, but this had happened to me. And you know, there are some people where that's true. But when 100% of the people say it, and only 95%, which is a made-up statistic, by the way, 95% don't actually follow that, then I gave up on winning a trophy today when Garen showed up.
Oh my God.
I want to make this speech about self-awareness. I'm aware that I might not be the best speaker today. Well, when I was trying to come up with this speech, I had been procrastinating a lot. And that's one of my biggest problems, is I have something important I have to accomplish, and I just push it off, like, oh yeah, I'll think about it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, I'm busy right now, I'll do it the next day. It's the same with my tax returns right now. But I always made this excuse with, oh yeah, when I procrastinate, I become more creative. I have to think outside of the box, which isn't really true. I just have less time to think outside the box. I feel more rushed. So that brings me to my next point. Bad habits. We all are aware of some of the bad habits that we may or may not have. One of the things that I've been doing to counter these bad habits is each month I'll think of one thing that I don't want to do anymore. And for that whole month, I'm going to focus on just that one thing to completely eliminate it. I've done this with a few things so far. I no longer drink alcohol. I've eliminated that. Wow. But being self-aware is one of the more difficult things to do. Because you can't look at yourself like, I'm the good person anymore. You have to find the areas where maybe you're not doing so great. What areas could I improve in? Am I doing something wrong that I'm not aware about? Maybe you have to communicate with someone else. Am I doing something that bothers you? For me, I've always asked myself these questions late at night, and it's hard to go to sleep when you start asking yourself these questions because you end up down a rabbit hole. Like last night, I was asking myself, what should my speech topic be about? You start thinking at like 8, and you don't go to sleep till 1. It ends up being a long, drawn-out process. But Toastmasters, I'm very grateful for you today to listen to me about how self-aware I am, because I know I'm the best, and I appreciate you thinking that.